Okay, picture this. You're feeling completely overwhelmed. Life is throwing all kinds of curveballs at you, and then you feel it. That familiar, unwelcome squeeze in your chest.
And right on cue, your mind just jumps in. The thoughts start to spiral, playing this high-speed movie of all the what-ifs and worst-case scenarios. Your heart's pounding, and you just feel totally out of control. In these moments, when your body is basically hijacked by emotion, all that well-meaning advice like, just breathe, can feel absolutely impossible, right? When your brain's alarm system is blaring, you can't just think your way out of it. You need something physical to interrupt the pattern.
And that, right there, is exactly why the anxiety bag has become such a massive mental health life hack. So in this explainer, we're going to break down what it is, the actual science of why it works as a physical reset button for your brain, and then we'll go step by step through how to build your very own.
So, to really get how a bag of what looks like random items can actually stop a panic spiral, we first need to understand what's happening inside our bodies. This isn't just in your head. It is a completely physical response. See, your nervous system kind of has two competing modes. When you're anxious, your sympathetic nervous system, that's your fight or flight response, is running the show. Your heart races, thoughts spiral. The goal is to activate the other system, the parasympathetic nervous system, which is responsible for rest and digest. The tools in these kits, they're specifically designed to force that switch. And the main way these kits work is through a concept from something called dialectical behavior therapy, or DBT. It's called grounding. So the most important thing to get is that grounding techniques use really strong sensory input, taste, touch, smell, to literally pull your brain out of that future-focused what-if spiral and drag it back into the physical, present moment.
Now, what's so cool about this is that it points to one of the most powerful grounding techniques there is. Splashing cold water on your face triggers something called the mammalian dive reflex. It's this ancient survival mechanism that instantly slows your heart rate down to conserve oxygen. It is literally a built-in biological reset button and is incredibly effective at stopping that fight or flight response dead in its tracks.
All right, so let's move on and see how all this science builds into a practical, hands-on toolkit. And I actually prefer calling it a composure kit instead of an anxiety bag. Why? Because it focuses on the response, on being prepared, not on the problem. This is all about taking back control.
So, how do we build one? It's simple. We're going to use a 5-point sensory blueprint, targeting each of our senses to create a really well-rounded kit that can handle all kinds of different situations.
First up, taste. An intense flavor, like a super sour candy, is the perfect sensory interruption. Your brain is so overwhelmed by that powerful sour shock that it just doesn't have the mental space to keep the anxious thought loop going. It's a simple but honestly brilliant hack. Next, let's talk touch. This is all about physical sensation. A spiky fidget ring can give your hands a real focus point. And an instant cold pack, well, that's like a portable version of that mammalian dive reflex we talked about. You just crack it, place it on your wrists or the back of your neck, and you get that same system-slowing shock of cold.
Okay, for smell, you've got two paths you can take. You can go the soothing route with something like peppermint or lavender, or you can use an interrupting scent. And this right here is a pro tip for medical settings. Just sniffing a simple alcohol prep pad can quickly stop those waves of nausea that so often come along with intense anxiety.
Now, we have to talk about sound, because for a lot of people, anxiety isn't triggered by quiet, it's triggered by the exact opposite, sensory overload. This is when there's just way too much noise, too much happening for your brain to process it all.
So the solution here isn't to just block out the world completely, it's about filtering it. Noise-reducing earplugs are actually designed to just take the edge off all that background noise. They lower the volume so you can still hear what's going on and be engaged, but without that overwhelming flood of sound.
And finally, we have sight in the cognitive piece of the puzzle. When your thoughts are just racing and won't stop, a tiny little notebook and a pen for a brain dump can be a total lifesaver. The physical act of writing down all those swirling worries gets them out of your head and onto the page, which can free up so much mental space.
So, you've built your kit. But the real power isn't just in using it during a crisis. It's really about what the kit represents. It's a huge mindset shift from feeling like a victim of panic to being prepared for it.
I absolutely love this quote because it just reframes the entire idea so perfectly. The kit isn't a symbol of your anxiety. It's a symbol of your resourcefulness, of your strength. You are carrying tools for composure, tools for control.
And remember, the goal isn't to need this kit forever. Using it is a brilliant, proactive strategy.
Every single time you successfully interrupt a panic spiral, you're actually helping to retrain your nervous system. You're teaching it that it can come back to a state of calm. Reaching for your kit isn't a failure, it's an incredible act of self-management.
So these are the fundamentals, right? But every single kit should be personalized to you. So the question I want to leave you with is this. Now that you have the blueprint, what will you put in your composure kit?